Hello everybody, long live the Union of Britain, and thank you for joining me in our Let's Play of Hearts of Iron 4 in the Kaiserreich alternate history mod. I have to admit that this mod, although I only played it for 30 minutes, is one of the greatest mods I've ever played. Because I think the mod is well made better than the vanilla game in terms of intensity. Not new game, here is my mistake, excuse me please, here. Single player allowed, here. Kaiserreich, the Union of Britain. Well, it seems like you have lots of different choices. What really impressed me is that you cannot boost the popularity of your party in other countries, which makes sense. I mean, somewhat it was possible, but not so easy like it's presented in the base game. That's one thing which I really don't like. We are playing as the Union of Britain. I still didn't figure it out for what the radical socialist, totalist, or syndicalists stay, but whatever, let's get into the game. And let's listen to a different music, because the German music doesn't fit that well. Look, we have so many songs here. Yeah, the red flag. We have so many different songs. God Save the King. Yeah, God Save the King, although we have no king. So I want things to be randomized, actually. What do we have here? We have so many different songs, actually. Poison's Gloria, yeah. Yeah, it doesn't fit our country. Yeah, is there something communist? L'International. Okay, fine, let's think to that. L'International, and we'll do it with shuffle. Okay, let's continue our game. And let's go for the internal policy. The Congress will vote on the policy in question. All open questions will need to be voted before actual reforms can ensue. Let's do that. General policy is being researched. General policy we got now. Okay, we have to vote. The debate has rendered into the area of internal policy. As has been predicted, every faction has put forward their own suggestions. The outcome is unsure, since it is here the real decision where the future of the Union will be made. Question is, do you want to dissolve the TUC, which will result in with the establishment of the local TUC encouragement the process of devolution and successful ends? Or do you want the revolution? Let's check here what we get. Home rule, defend revolution, merge the posts of chairman and secretary, and we can go for dissolve the militias, purge militia remains, and Maximus. Well, these political commissars are quite tempting. Local governments. Also, the Maximists stand for a centralism. The current system is satisfactory, or I would say the local government must be brought in line with the POC. Yeah, let's do that here. That seems quite Soviet for me. Like, the autonomists is not what I want. So, yeah. That's quite the hard. Well, I guess I go for Maximist, so let's go for the Maximist internal policy. Yeah, Maximists have 27% of support in our country. Yeah, we are going to get Maximist. Yeah, Maximist. Not autonomous like French, so French isn't a potential ally. We can't go for that, because we don't meet the requirements. Let's do the economic policy then, I'd say. So yeah, we can do the foreign policy as well, show of force. With France, I'd say let's do the economic policy, build up our economy. Okay, I have lots of theorists, that's syndicalists, radical socialists, hold for economic policy. The debate, what's that? Allgemeine Ostasiengesellschaft sounds like a trading company, or like a warehouse for me. It's probably here. Has declared war on what's the legation cities. Where is the legation cities? Oh, well, let's. Well, rest in peace, legation cities. Algae board of directors. Interesting. Whatever. The debate has wandered into the area of economics. As has been predicted, every faction has put their own forward suggestions. Most people assume that the Maximists will win this debate, since Oswald Mosley is a major figure in the British economy these days. So what do we want? The economy must be expanded, centralized and effectivized. The economy must be expanded and centralized, or greater economic autonomy must be given. No, I'm against autonomy. I will go for the Maximist economic policy. Yeah. There we go. Now let's... Okay, we can't do these things, unfortunately. Then let's do the military affairs. Our popularity is rising. Due to his popular policies, one of our loyal ministers has managed to strengthen our ideology. With some additional influence, we could increase our popularity. No. The debate has wandered into the area of military affairs. As has been predicted, every faction has put blah blah blah. The military must be expanded and the local militias must be placed under TUC control. The army must be expanded, but only in self-defense, Scottish, English and Welsh National Army. Now I'm completely against that. I am for the expansion of the military and for the placement of the militias under TUC control. That's what I want. Okay, nice. Now we get even a total effective modifier of 105%. What's that? Defecting officers. In the light of the recent demonstration of political freedom on our island, some royalist officers have defected to us. Namely, Admiral Willis, General Hutton and Weltkrieg hero General Alexander. They could help the Republican Army and Navy with their expertise. However, while we don't have any proof, there is suspicion that some of them may fought against the workers in the Second Glorious Revolution. The Congress will decide on their fates. Well, I would say we should include them in our army. Not do the purge how Stalin had done it. Yeah, I'm not going to release whilst the Union of Britain will stay. Probably Ireland is going to be added into our sphere as well. Otherwise we don't have a big choice, we have to do the foreign policy. That's done, that went quite quick. We can go with France, but I don't want to. The Maximists say we must fight the reactionaries wherever we find them. We must take reactionary position towards the royalists. No. Canada is our mortal enemy and France is our good friend. No, I am for the Maximist foreign policy. I like the Maximists, therefore I will go Maximist. Okay, let's... set my 100s. Let's expand our industry in wireless perhaps, or let's get the political commissars. Merge with the chairman. Yeah, I'm first for our industrial expansion. Yeah. We need to strengthen the British industry. Low party popularity. Oh, that's bad. The civilian support for the luring party is low, which influences our political power. The resignation of Philip Snowden. On the last day of the TUC Congress, Chairman Philip Snowden climbed up to the podium and made a speech. He claimed that in the face of massive rifts within the TOC and due to his age, he intends, well, he isn't that old, he intends to resign his post. He's perhaps too young. He also pulled out the cliché time with the family bit that all politicians do. The congregation stood silent as he climbed down from the podium and made his way out of the hall. The country is shocked, and in a few days the TOC will have to vote on a new chairman. Shocking to say the least. Well, I am for the Maximists. The Maximists should come to power. Yeah. The Maximists should come to power, that's for sure. Let's select the technology. A German election, Maximists secure a majority. The TOC has decided to vote for Oswald Mosley's Maximists with an overwhelming majority. Oswald Mosley will become the new chairman at the TOC. Congratulations, Comrade Mosley. Philip Snowden retires. Oswald Mosley becomes leader for the Radical Socialist Party. Politics will change. Federationist wing of the TOC becomes population will not be held. That's not what I want. I wanted the Maximus to rule. God damn it. Now Oswald mostly is ruling. Low, very low average. Well, it can't go. Well, maximum what can go is low. Very low. No. We could change to early mobilization, but I will wait. Although, yeah, I'll wait a bit more because political power is vital for us. Well, the music's perhaps too low, but we have to research something first. No, I don't need this. Let's get better ships. Actually, let's get the King George V class. No template for what's sport equipment and motorized. Yeah, I'm just dropping that up. Yeah, I have no army experience, but I really cannot tell that I can distribute this. No, it's just stockpiling up stuff. And well, the Union of Britain. Let's see if we'll manage to regain our national empire. Here, the battle for the legation cities. The office of Secretary General. Now that a new chairman has finally been chosen, many are urging to what's that? Brazilian broad election 0D. Brazil gets Brazilian. Okay, that isn't for me. Now that a new chairman has finally been chosen, many are urging to quickly choose a new general secretary at the end of the period in uncertain in British politics. I have no idea who should I choose. Let's say him. I don't know who is Maximus therefore. Oh fuck. God damn it. I choose the syndicalist. I should have chosen Oswald Mosley or somebody, Christopher Hill. Well, perhaps it's our own mistake. Hopefully we don't have to pay. Minister. He's a foreign minister. Okay. Interesting. Well, over here, let's see. Yeah, our army hasn't undergone really any expansion here. We still need infantry equipment to be produced in order to expand the Union of Britain army. Let's check our naval base. Yeah, naval reorganization is underway. Want to create 3 powerful fleets. 3 powerful fleets. The Union of Britain, we have 6 battleships here. We are currently producing destroyers, the GHI class 10 per year. 10 per year we have 6 already. That's acceptable. What is the French Commune doing? The road to war. Oh, it doesn't sound that good for me. Road to war, military build-up, demand Normandy, demand Alsace-Lorraine. I don't know, things are looking dark for the Germans. They have colonial upkeep, quenched militarism, as well as victors of the Weltkrieg, which is making things certainly everything else than easy for them. Time to get the Matilda tank as well. The control-red cities was annexed, Treaty of Shanghai, 735 equipment has been seized. So the Allgemeine Ostasien Gesellschaft got rid of these little cities there. They are a puppet of the German Empire. Puppets. I ask myself how they managed to declare war even to them. Like, when they are a puppet, they normally shouldn't be able to do so. Well, we did expand our whales industry. We can do this sexy industrial expansion, or let's do the central industrial research. Oh, the problem is I'm not going for concentrated industry. God damn it, that's nothing I need. Militarized industry. I'll just go for the let's go for the political commissars. Yeah, follow the path. Well, there is no Soviet Union, therefore we will create a Soviet Union-like city. My submarines will be based in the naval base at this. Actually, let's send them. Whatever. That sounds like Spanish for me, if you ask me. Our military sector is certainly far away than being considered good, I'd say. Now, what should we do? check the Russians. Well, Russia is from the army, Markov's plan. They have Ahranka. Well, they are really unstable. Perhaps civil war is looming the Russians once more. I mean, shouldn't the socialists have won? Because even like the German Empire put the communists in charge of the country. Therefore, if you'd consider it, it would make sense that the socialists would have won. But here, didn't happen after the down-Cuban Union. Peter Krasnov. Well, can Russia even... the Ottoman Empire. Can Russia, I'm asking myself, even next their old territory? They can restore US to Soviet Russia, this great... Alright, so they can restore the proletarian dictatorship, which they are not doing apparently. Or they can do it only if they meet the requirements, so things aren't that easy here. The Russians tree is so insanely long. It's also worth playing the Russians, which might prove as a challenge, because, well, you may think they are the biggest country in the world, but if you check their industrial capacities, they are double as weak than us than we are. Plus their unity of just 14%. Oh, the American Civil War has broke out. Of 3 American Union states, our combined syndicate declared war on American Union state. What's happening? The Union state declared war on the United States. What is that in the name of gods? The combined syndicates of America. What Pacific state declared war on the United States? Oh my god, the poor Americans. I would say let's send volunteers and equipment to the combined syndicates of America. Do they even stand a chance? They might win, although I don't think that they will. Still, let's send in volunteers and equipment. There we go. We need to help our American brothers and sisters indeed against the capitalists, Douglas MacArthur. Well, that there's a Pacific States of America, I would have never expected, to be honest. Can we even create our own New England? Also broke out. They are in the same faction. They joined the Entente. New England joined the Entente. That's interesting. So America lost New England for once and for all. It's quite balanced, but the military might is under the US control. Although they have to face 3 different countries, where they have to face only the US, and after that the other countries. So that's quite interesting. I'm excited to see how the war will develop in the area. Speed the pace up. The Federation's ring, yeah, what's that? Joy Fox Day celebrations have rung out all over the Union of Britain as people celebrated the anniversary of the gunpowder plots led by Guy Fawkes. While historians complain that the plot was in fact led by Robert Catesby, the propaganda syndicates tell them that Fawkes makes for a much cooler figurehead. Okay. Here let's expand our Maximists. We would get, well, this is the vital experience we need actually. I will merge the posts of chairman and secretary. We have 8 destroyers. I want to have an equal amount of destroyers for each fleet. 36, so yeah, let's go for 36 for each fleet. Let's produce them. But we have 3 World War I ships, so I can't really tell that it's strong. But the world is quite peaceful, we can tell that at least. Nothing really going on, but I'm sure things will break in the World War at one point. Alright, the dispersal industry is finally finished researching. It's out of time, so perhaps should go and get something else. What would we get? What would be useful? Yeah, air. Let's get the Hurricane. We still don't have the Hurricane. We will build the Hurricane, the Hulk Hurricane, in high quantities. Okay, well, I mean, we should have gotten the King George V class first, because it has been researched in 1922 already, but we have 1946, so the EU also mostly surely have things to research. Oh, he has black hair. I don't know what eye color, but it looks like brown for me. So the opposite of German, but since the German don't care about racial things, that's no problem. The fascists have no chance. The fascists even didn't come to rise because Germany won. So that's how the world might have looked like. What's that? Ban French organizations. That's a question even, a question mark. I'll get the event. Maneuvers in Alsace-Lorraine. Put the syndicalists back in their place. Or they can even wage war against the Commune of France. Well, the French military is, I think, really superior to ours, but our civilian industry is, well, I want to make us the strongest civilian power, the strongest industrial power in the world. I am telling things which are really hard to achieve, but we will achieve it. We will. Although when is the question. We have to start, well, militarizing at one point as well, but I'll stay. I really wanna do the partial mobilization, but world tension is low, isn't high enough, therefore I won't go for it. Minus 10%, minus 5. Yeah, I will do, yeah, partial mobilization. Therefore, I'm not spending any of my political power, because I also need it to ensure stability. Or you know, this mod has a complete different, also complete better stability system than the others. That's what's left of the Austrian Empire, and soon we'll enter the new year, and welcome 1937, new year. About the Austrian Empire, I'm not sure if you could really call them an empire, to be honest. They lost the majority of their great plot of Istria. Of their, I don't know what happened to the Austrian Empire though. They still have puppets. Oh, okay, they have all these colonies as puppets. Okay. They still exist to some extent, but they separated themselves from the Middle Europa faction. Now, since we got the King George V class, let's go and get better submarines as well. Yeah, better submarines as well. King George V. I will still, yeah, produce some more destroyers. No, we don't need this. I want the Maximists to get the power. After 5 days we will merge to the post of chairman and secretary, which also has been the part in the Soviet Union. The Soviets, Stalin wasn't covered without a reason, chairman secretary of the Soviet Union. Like chairman and secretary, you may think, you may guess already that they have been merged. But now it should have been merged. A strong leader for the Union. It's merged, yeah. Oh, it's merged, okay. Now let's do a, well, low on political power. That's the main problem. Revolution. What's that? I don't know what that is. I think that seems quite... We have to go revolution, but I don't want to do the revolution yet. Oh, the X, I mean, from now on I have to really say I really like this mod. I can only suggest you playing it. You get so many events here. Like, I was quite bored in the vanilla game because you barely got events. But here you get simply so many. Let's see. The Exchequer's post, who was mostly securing his power in the CDU. He has to make up his mind about the Exchequer's office. His retaining post, he's retaining his post, or is, I mean, he retaining whatever his post, would create a concentration of power that is not only prohibited by the Union's constitution, but may also affect the quality of Maximist rule. The only problem is choosing a suitable candidate. Um, Mm. Okay, I won't go for that. I will choose somebody, but I don't know whom. Director of the Commandery Machine Plant, former militia commander. Yeah, let's choose David Carwood, perhaps. Alright, now we can exchange experience institution. Yeah, let's do the exchange experience institution, but I will lose minus 100 political power. I have to be careful, I have to always stay in the positive. Never forget that. That's not nice song, isn't it? So this is your land. While the United States are still bogged down in civil war, they are fighting for the control of the Unionists. I mean, they are authoritarian democracy. The democratic system of the USA, how you know it, did totally collapse. Now countries are holding elections. Oh, Brazil got radical socialist as well. Radical socialist. I see lots of countries are radical socialist. Oh, what's that? The Austrian Empire declared war in Poland? Oh, what happened? What happened? Civil war like broke out. The Austrian Empire is fighting. Oh, alright. The Balkans are truly getting into a interesting position nevertheless. Serbia declared war on the dominion of Bosnia. And now I see I don't know, we should have stayed maybe radical socialists to create a faction. They are non-aligned, so it wouldn't be possible anyways. And we can't create factions, therefore. We got the material of the Austrian Empire declared war on the Kingdom of Croatia. Oh, oh, oh. I don't know why the world tension didn't rise though. It should, well, have risen more, quite a bit, but it didn't. A fleet in being, let's go for the fleet in being naval doctrine. But the Balkans are at war once more. Now there's just an intervention from a big nation missing. So the Austrian Empire is fighting the Kingdom of Poland, or look, a building is ruling Poland. It's the Regency Council ruling the Kingdom of Poland, Kingdom of Ukraine, White Ruthenia, Kingdom of Ruthenia, United Baltic Duchy. The Russians are creating a constitutional monarchy, it seems like. This will invite the legitimate Tsar Kirill to be the head of the new constitutional monarchy. Well, too sad to see that the Russians aren't going Maximist. Well, we will go totalists. Totalists. So, yeah. Well, our army, the build-up of our army is taking way too long. Way too long to be considered healthy. And I have no army experience, so the only thing what I can do is simply train more divisions. That's it. Nothing else. Yeah, at least our army at the end will be 314,000 strong. The world tension isn't high enough to, well, advance thoroughly, I would say. So, now we'll have Alexander Hutton and Willis as an officer. So, some royalists as a officer, that's perhaps good. And for now, we can just wait for a country to build up Maximist experience. Yeah, I should plan for. I don't know why I keep switching to 5, it's like a mechanism built into me. Shall we have some things to look like? The Middle East looks, I mean, in war. The Maklik, that's a nice name, Maklik, is close about capturing Urga, and then the Mongolians will actually capitulate. The Maklik is certainly gaining power, and Germany's, I think, well, Roman-Ungarn von Sternberg. I have not the slightest of an idea how that last got into Mongolia. Well, I have no idea. Okay, now Officer Corps Academy. Let's do the Central Command. The Central Command, it's important. We need to establish a central army headquarters to optimize communication and cooperation between army units. This will allow for more grand-scale operations to be planned in an efficient manner. Let's do it. Yeah. Let's create that army command, shall we? The Iron God of Romania is pushing truly into Hungary, while the Austrian Empire is struggling against the Italians, although it's like a stalemate, seems for me. Although, actually France got control of French Switzerland. Poor Swiss. The Swiss National Council wouldn't be that happy about that, if you ask me. Jacobin, Sorbians, Anarchists, Rebellieux, Maximists. Let's see when we'll get Maximists. Currently we are radical socialists. The question is, can we even get Maximists? I'm sure we can, but... Our Serbia took one state, the Dominion of Bosnia was annexed, and 13 equipment had been seized, like a handful of weapons. What Dominion of Canada declared war on Ireland? How in the name of gods? Why did they decide to declare war on Ireland? Oh, Dominion of Canada. St. Lawrence line. Let's check actually the Canadian tech tree. It's really interesting. Well, the Canadians, so they can demand Ireland and Greeceland's Executive Union of Britain. Treaty with Ireland. I don't know why, but the Irish are at war with the Canadians. The Authoritarian Democrats. Let's say nice names. We can't justify, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would have undergone a naval invasion of Ireland and added them back to the Union of Britain, but that's out of question. Actually, I will take a break here. So, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for the Union of Britain. I'm Sacred and I'm out. Have an awesome day to you all.